Welcome to our channel. Today, we embark on a journey to explore the alarming state of our planet. We'll uncover 10 shocking truths about global environmental pollution, a crisis that knows no borders and affects us all. Our journey begins with the very air we breathe, now a toxic cocktail of pollutants in many parts of the world. The World Health Organization estimates that air pollution is responsible for over 7 million premature deaths annually. Microscopic particles from vehicle exhausts and industrial chimneys penetrate deep into our lungs, leading to respiratory illnesses, heart disease, and even cancer. Children are particularly vulnerable, their developing bodies more susceptible to pollutants. The economic costs of air pollution are staggering, with healthcare expenses and lost productivity running into trillions of dollars globally. Addressing air pollution requires a fundamental shift in our energy consumption patterns, a move towards cleaner, renewable sources. Our journey now takes us to the vast expanse of our oceans, increasingly choked by a tide of plastic waste. Every year, millions of tons of plastic debris find their way into our oceans, a horrifying testament to our throwaway culture. These microplastics permeate the entire marine food web, from tiny plankton to apex predators like sharks and whales. Seabirds, mistaking plastic fragments for food, fill their stomachs with this indigestible material, leading to starvation and death. Microplastics have been found in seafood, tap water, and even table salt, raising concerns about their potential impact on human health. Addressing plastic pollution requires reducing our reliance on single-use plastics and improving waste management systems. In the North Pacific Ocean lies a chilling testament to our plastic addiction, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This swirling vortex of marine debris is twice the size of Texas and contains an estimated 87,000 tons of plastic. The patch is a dense soup of plastic fragments, ranging in size from microplastics to large pieces of debris. Sea turtles, whales, and seabirds often mistake plastic for food, leading to starvation, entanglement, and death. Cleaning up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is daunting, but the most effective solution lies in preventing plastic from entering our waterways. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a stark reminder that our actions have consequences, and we must act now to reduce our plastic footprint. Our journey now takes us to the world's forests, the lungs of our planet, under relentless assault from deforestation. Every year, an area of forest the size of Portugal is lost, cleared for agriculture, logging, and mining. Forests are home to an estimated 80% of the world's terrestrial species, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. As forests disappear, so too do countless species of plants and animals, pushing them closer to extinction. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, acting as carbon sinks. When forests are cut down or burned, this stored carbon is released back into the atmosphere. Indigenous communities, who depend on forests for their livelihoods and cultural identity, are disproportionately affected by deforestation. Protecting our remaining forests and restoring degraded lands is crucial for mitigating climate change and preserving biodiversity. Our next stop is a phenomenon as insidious as it is damaging: acid rain. This ecological scourge occurs when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides, primarily from burning fossil fuels, react with water, oxygen, and other chemicals in the atmosphere to form acids. These acidic compounds then fall to the earth as rain, snow, fog, or dry particles, wreaking havoc on ecosystems and infrastructure alike. Forests wither under the onslaught of acid rain, their leaves stripped of nutrients, their growth stunted. Lakes and rivers become increasingly acidic, rendering them inhospitable to fish and other aquatic life. Addressing acid rain requires a continued commitment to reducing emissions from power plants and factories, as well as transitioning to cleaner sources of energy. Our exploration of pollution now takes us to an industry often associated with glamour and aspiration: fashion. The fashion industry is a major contributor to global carbon emissions, accounting for an estimated 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Fast fashion, characterized by its rapid turnover of trends and low-cost garments, has exacerbated the industry's environmental impact. clothes are discarded at an alarming rate, ending up in landfills where they decompose and release harmful greenhouse gases. Textile dyeing and treatment processes often release toxic chemicals into waterways, polluting ecosystems and harming human health. Moving towards a more sustainable fashion industry requires embracing quality over quantity, choosing eco-friendly materials, and supporting ethical brands. Our technological advances come at a cost, a growing mountain of electronic waste or e-waste. Every year, millions of tons of discarded electronic devices are generated globally, posing a significant environmental and health hazard. E-waste contains hazardous materials, including lead, mercury, cadmium, and brominated flame retardants. Informal e-waste recycling, often carried out in developing countries, exposes workers and communities to dangerous levels of toxic substances. Addressing the e-waste crisis requires promoting the design and manufacture of more durable and repairable electronics and establishing responsible e-waste collection and recycling systems. Consumers also have a role to play by extending the lifespan of their electronic devices and disposing of them responsibly. Water, the elixir of life, is increasingly under threat from pollution, jeopardizing the health of millions worldwide. Industrial discharges, agricultural runoff, sewage, and plastic waste are contaminating our rivers, lakes, and oceans at an alarming rate. In developing countries, lack of access to safe drinking water and sanitation facilities exposes millions to waterborne diseases. Industrial wastewater, often laden with heavy metals and other toxic substances, is discharged into rivers and streams, poisoning aquatic life and contaminating drinking water sources. Agricultural runoff contributes to nutrient pollution, leading to algal blooms that deplete oxygen and create dead zones in waterways. Addressing water pollution requires implementing stricter regulations on industrial discharges and agricultural practices, and investing in wastewater treatment infrastructure. Our journey now takes us to the heartland of food production agriculture. Modern agricultural practices have come at a significant environmental cost, contributing to air and water pollution, soil degradation, and biodiversity loss. Excess fertilizers can leach into waterways, leading to nutrient pollution and harmful algal blooms. Pesticides, used to protect crops from pests and diseases, also pose risks to human and environmental health. Industrial animal agriculture, particularly factory farming, is a major contributor to environmental pollution. Concentrated animal feeding operations generate massive amounts of manure, which can contaminate water sources with pathogens and excess nutrients. The production of meat also requires vast amounts of land, water, and energy, contributing to deforestation, greenhouse gas emissions, and water scarcity. Transitioning to more sustainable agricultural practices, such as organic farming and conservation tillage, is essential for reducing agriculture's environmental footprint. Our final stop explores a pervasive yet often overlooked form of pollution noise. In our increasingly urbanized world, noise from traffic, construction, industry, and even our leisure activities has become a constant companion. Prolonged exposure to noise pollution can lead to a range of health problems, including hearing loss, stress, sleep disturbance, and cardiovascular disease. Noise pollution also has detrimental effects on wildlife. Birds living in noisy urban environments have difficulty communicating, finding mates, and avoiding predators. Reducing noise pollution requires implementing stricter noise regulations for vehicles and industries, and promoting quieter technologies. As we conclude our journey through the stark realities of global environmental pollution, one message rings clear: the time for action is now. From the air we breathe to the water we drink and the land we inhabit, the very life support systems of our planet are under threat. By embracing sustainable practices, advocating for change, and holding ourselves and our leaders accountable, we can chart a path towards a cleaner, healthier, and more equitable future. Let's choose to be the generation that turns the tide on pollution, not the one that drowns in its wake. Thank you for joining us on this crucial exploration. Remember, Every action, no matter how small, can make a difference.